Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed and burnt out? Discover the incredible power of saying no to reclaim your peace and energy. Hello and welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you this. Are you exhausted from carrying too many responsibilities? Do you often feel like you're drowning in obligations, trying to make everyone happy except yourself? If so, you're not alone. Many of us are taught from a young age to always say yes, to be agreeable, to avoid conflict, to put others first. But what happens when that habit becomes a prison? What happens when every yes you say to others becomes a no to yourself? Today, we are going to uncover one of the most powerful yet underestimated tools in life, the ability to say no. In this journey, I will guide you through the psychological and emotional toll of saying yes too often, why people-pleasing leads to burnout, what Carl Jung, the Stoics, and modern psychology say about boundaries, how saying no is an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Real-life strategies to start reclaiming your time, energy, and peace. So, sit back, take a deep breath, and prepare to confront a truth that might just change your life. Let's begin. 1. The heavy cost of always saying yes. From the outside, you might look like someone who has it all together. You smile, you're reliable, you're helpful. You're the one who picks up the slack, who stays late, who says yes when no one else will. But inside, something is crumbling. You wake up already tired. You go to sleep with your mind racing. You have no time for yourself. You feel drained, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. The truth? Every time you say yes out of guilt, fear, or obligation, you betray a little part of yourself. You trade your peace for approval. You sacrifice your time for validation. You give away your energy like it's infinite. But you are not infinite. You are human. You have limits. And ignoring them is why you feel so lost, so tired, so disconnected from yourself. The root of overwhelm. Saying yes constantly may come from a place of kindness, but also from fear. Fear of disappointing others, fear of being judged, fear of not being liked, fear of missing out, fear of conflict. But what's more damaging, disappointing others or constantly disappointing yourself? Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." You cannot become your true self if you're always living for others. Saying yes might make you feel needed in the moment, but over time, it leads to resentment, burnout, and loss of identity. It makes you a stranger to your own needs. You forget what you want because you're too busy managing what everyone else wants from you. The high price of people-pleasing. People-pleasers are often praised for being nice. But niceness without boundaries is not kindness, it's self-erasure. You start saying yes to things you hate. You go to events you dread. You take on work that's not yours. You listen to problems that aren't yours to solve. And every time you do, you chip away at your own mental health. You feel resentful, but blame yourself for it. You feel invisible, but smile through it. You become a ghost in your own life. 2. Carl Jung, Boundaries, and the Power of No. Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist, understood something most people still ignore today. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. You see, most of us are running from ourselves. We say yes because we're afraid of what will happen if we stop performing, stop pleasing, stop giving. We think our worth is tied to how much we can endure, how helpful we can be, how much others approve of us. But Jung's work reminds us, true growth begins when we turn inward, not outward. When we stop trying to be who others need us to be and start asking, who am I really? What do I want? What do I need to feel whole? What do I want? What do I need to feel whole, rested, and alive again? Boundaries are not walls. They are bridges to your truth, your peace, your health. When you start saying no, you're not rejecting others. You're honoring yourself. You're saying, no, I can't stay late again. I need rest. No, I won't take on more. I'm already full. No, I'm not available this weekend. I need quiet. No, I won't keep pretending I'm fine when I'm not. The Stoic perspective, control and responsibility. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, taught something equally powerful. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius, when you say yes out of fear, you're handing your power to others. You let their expectations control your schedule, your energy, even your emotions. But when you say no, you reclaim that power. The Stoics believed that inner peace comes from distinguishing between what's within our control and what's not. You can't control what others think of you, how they react to your boundaries, whether they approve or not, but you can control what you agree to, how you spend your time, what you allow into your space. Saying no is an act of clarity. It draws a line and says, this is where I end and someone else begins. And that's where peace begins too. 3. The price of always saying yes. When boundaries disappear. When you constantly say yes to everything and everyone, you eventually say no to yourself. It's slow. It's subtle. But it's deadly. You begin to lose track of what you want. You forget how to rest without guilt. You wake up tired, go to sleep anxious. And your smile? It becomes a mask, plastic and hollow. You know you're on this path when you feel resentful even after doing something nice. You're constantly saying, I'm fine, when you're not fine. You dread your mornings because your days are filled with things you didn't choose. You fantasize about just disappearing, running away, or being left alone just for a day. You snap at people you love, not because you hate them, but because you're empty. This isn't just stress. This is what happens when you betray your inner truth long enough. You begin to vanish. Your dreams, your voice, your passions. They all get buried under a mountain of obligations, roles, and silent exhaustion. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war within yourself. Unknown. When you say yes to everything, you're not being kind. You're being afraid. Afraid of being seen as selfish. Afraid of being judged. Afraid of letting someone down. But here's the truth. Chronic self-abandonment is not kindness. It's quiet self-destruction. And it has a cost. Mental cost. Burnout. Anxiety. Depression. Physical cost. Chronic fatigue. Insomnia. Hormonal imbalances. Weakened immune system. Emotional cost. Bitterness. Guilt. Emotional numbness. You were not made to carry the world. You were not created to be available 24/7. You are allowed to be a human being, not a human machine. So ask yourself, where in my life am I saying yes when I need to say no? The first time you say it, it will feel awkward. You might shake, you might feel guilty, but over time you will feel something else. Freedom. 4. How to say no without guilt. The art of setting boundaries. You don't need to scream. You don't need to justify. You don't even need to explain. You are allowed to say no. But here's the problem. Many of us don't know how. We were raised to be nice, to be polite, to avoid trouble. So every time we want to say no, we either freeze or say yes with a fake smile and a dying heart. But today, that ends. 1. No is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone a backstory or a TED Talk. When you're not available, you can simply say, I can't commit to that right now. Thanks for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass. I'm choosing to focus on my health right now. No, thank you. Notice what's not there? Excuses, apologies, over-explaining. You don't have to be rude to be firm. You don't have to shout to be strong. You just have to believe you are worthy of rest and peace. 2. Boundaries are not walls. They're doors. Many people think setting boundaries will make them cold or distant, but boundaries don't push people away. They teach people how to love you properly. You're not selfish for protecting your time. You're not arrogant for saying you need space. You're not difficult for choosing peace. In fact, the people who truly respect you will understand. And those who don't? They were never respecting you to begin with. They were using you. 3. Practice in small ways. You don't have to start with life-changing no's. Start small. Say no to an extra work shift you don't have energy for. Say no to social plans when your body's asking for rest. Say no to checking your phone after 8 p.m. Every no you practice is a yes to your own life. And every time you protect your energy, you teach the world, I matter too. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. Brené Brown. Practical exercise, the mirror method. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes and say, no, I will not betray myself today. No, I will not abandon my needs just to make others comfortable. No, I deserve to rest, to breathe, to live fully. Say it until your voice stops shaking. Say it until it feels like truth, because it is. 5. Build a life that doesn't need escape. When you learn to say no, something extraordinary happens. You stop living on the edge of burnout. You stop resenting the people around you. And you finally start designing a life that feels like yours. But here's the truth. Even after learning to say no, the world won't suddenly slow down. Your boss won't magically stop emailing you at midnight. Your family won't instantly understand your new boundaries. So what now? Step 1. Design your days with intention. Don't start your morning with someone else's urgency. Start it with your own clarity. Create a schedule that reflects your values. Block time for deep work and creative rest. Schedule breaks like you would schedule meetings. Protect your sleep like it's your life, because it is. A powerful life is not built in chaos. It's built in rhythm. Step 2. Let go of people who only love you when you're convenient. Some people only liked you when you were always available. When you start saying no, they may leave. Let them. You're not here to be a doormat. You're not here to be the emergency exit for people who never stayed during your storms. You are allowed to outgrow the version of you who was always exhausted. You are allowed to evolve. Step 3. Replace guilt with grace. Every time you say no and guilt creeps in, breathe. Then say this to yourself. I am not responsible for other people's disappointment. My peace is not up for negotiation. Saying no is how I say yes to a better me. Guilt is just a shadow of the old you dying. Don't bring her back to life. Let her rest. 6. The power of stillness and sacred energy. In a loud world, your quiet becomes sacred. You don't always need to reply. You don't always need to attend. You don't always need to be productive. Sometimes your healing comes in the silence. Sometimes your strength is in what you walk away from. Learn the art of energetic minimalism. Clear your calendar of anything that isn't aligned. Sit in silence for 10 minutes each day. Say no with kindness, but without apology. The more still you become, the more clearly you can hear your own soul. And that voice? That's your guide. Not the noise. Not the guilt. you. 7. Your life belongs to you now. You were not born to be burned out. You were not born to be used up. You were not born to be liked by everyone. You were born to be whole. Saying no isn't a rejection of others. It's a sacred commitment to yourself. It is a declaration. I matter. My time matters. My health matters. Let this be the year you stop apologizing for taking care of yourself. Let this be the season you reclaim your joy. Let this be the moment you say, enough, I choose me. If you made it this far, I know one thing. You are ready, ready to heal, ready to breathe, ready to live again. But this journey is better when we walk it together. So if this video spoke to your soul, hit that subscribe button. Join a community of warriors choosing peace over pressure, truth over people-pleasing, and freedom over fear. And always remember, the word no is a full sentence. Use it wisely, use it bravely, use it for you. Take back your power, say no, and watch your life bloom. See you in the next video.